Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion, and Edwin has had a good road trip. He's hit 4 home runs, but unfortunately, those are the only 4 hits he's had. Had a pinch hit home run in the game last night. Got 6 RBIs on the road trip, and right behind him, Russell Martin over his last 12 games. Still hitting over 400. He, too, has hit some home runs of late, and these two guys in the 4th and 5th spot in the order need to deliver against Collin McHugh, who's had home run problems in the month of May.
He has. He got knocked out in the 5th inning in his last start. That's the shortest start of the season and his first loss of the season, ending a 16-start winning streak that started, ironically, against the Blue Jays here last August. Astros won that game. McHugh went 16 straight starts without a loss. Astros are 6-1 in the games that he has started this season. And he's trying to become the 5th pitcher in the American League to reach 5 wins, joining Felix Hernandez, Dallas Keuchel, Mark Buehrle, and Pineda.
Ezequiel Carrera is playing in right field and leading off today. Devin Travis is not in the lineup. We'll talk more about Travis as the game goes on. First pitch is a ball. Here is a second pitch. It's ripped into right field. That high fastball, Carrera jumped all over it. A leadoff single for the Blue Jays here.
Well, Collin McHugh does not overpower you, so he's got to hit his spots, and the ball is up. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hit hard. That pitch was a slider to Carrera, and it just hung out over the middle of the plate, and he rips it to right field. Good start for the Blue Jays.
No question about that. A sharp single up out over the zone, and Carrera is aboard. He's hitting over 300 in his brief time with the Blue Jays. Josh Donaldson, the number 2 hitter. Donaldson pushes the bunt back toward the mound. He was trying for a base hit. Oh, Carter almost dropped that ball. So Donaldson moves the runner up. He was trying to push it by the pitcher. McHugh got off the mound and threw to Carter, but Carter back at it and it almost came out of his glove.
It looked like it hit him right in the heel of the glove. He was expecting the ball to be up, and he threw it right down in the dirt. And Carter, who's a big man, had to like backhand it. Watch, he wants the ball up. It's down by his right foot, but he squeezes it to get the out. That ball right in the heel and then caught in the webbing for the out.
Jose Bautista with a runner in scoring position. Bautista for the season 7 for 31 with runners in scoring position.
We have seen the Astros do that a few times to Jose, really elevate that fastball. They know that that shoulder has been bothering him, and he has not been able to get on top of that fastball.
Tried to check his swing and went around. Bautista is 0 for his last 8. Now 0 for his last 9 with runners in scoring position.
Well, right after you elevate the fastball, you throw that curveball, and it looks too good for Bautista, and he knows he went around. He was hoping he'd get the call, but he doesn't. 2 down.
Here is Encarnacion. He had a pinch hit 2-run homer in the 9th, but it was a run shy as the Astros won the ball game 6-5. Fouls it straight back. Encarnacion has just 4 hits in 19 at-bats on this road trip, and all 4 of those hits have been home runs. And they continue to give him the entire right side of the infield.
And it's time to start taking advantage of that. You've got one fielder on the right side of the infield. If you can roll a ball past Carter in the outfield, it's going to be 1-0. They're pitching him away again.
This is popped up over the dugout and out of play.
They are pitching him, Buck, the same way, high fastballs, but where does Edwin hit the home runs? Well, they're middle in. A lot of times off breaking balls. You can see all the breaking balls that Edwin has hit for home runs this season, so they are pitching him fastballs up and away, trying to keep it away from his power stroke, which is in.
Slider off the plate outside. McHugh, we mentioned he had home run problems. All the 5 home runs he's given up this season came in his last 3 starts. He gave up 4 home runs to the Mariners on the 2nd of May right here in this ballpark. Nelson Cruz hit 2, Logan Morrison hit 1, and Mike Zunino hit 1. Cruz, Morrison, and Zunino all had solo home runs in the 2nd inning. Off the plate.
That's where they have stayed with him. McHugh is really a ground ball type of pitcher, so the home runs, that's a little bit of a surprise. He'll get his share of ground ball outs, but I would not classify him as a strikeout type of pitcher. He's got to be perfect. He's got to hit his corners. He's got to change speeds. He's got to pitch to contact.
Buried that breaking ball. It's now a full count. Russell Martin is on deck.
You can see he's being very careful with Encarnacion. The home run that he hit last night was a mistake from Gregerson. It was a breaking ball that backed up and stayed in the middle of the plate. So you can see he's really trying to keep that ball away from him.
The Blue Jays scored 3 runs in the top of the 1st in last night's game. There's a slow breaking ball, and he strikes out Encarnacion. So Bautista and Encarnacion, both with runners in scoring position, strike out against Colin McHugh. Win Jose Altuve right at the top of the order. 4 for 10 in this series. He's driven in 3 runs. They all came in 1 game, and he is one of the most prolific RBI men, hitting in the leadoff spot in all of baseball. Down in the 6th spot, big Chris Carter. It's all or nothing for Carter in this series, or in his matchups against Burley. He is 4 for 11 with a couple of doubles. He had a big 3-run home run in the game last night, but he also had 3 strikeouts in that game.
That's what you're going to get from him, the strikeouts and then the bomb, the 3-run home run. Mark Burley gets ready for his 8th start of the season. He was the winning pitcher in the only game the Blue Jays have won on this road trip. 6-inning, 2-earned runs versus the Orioles. That was last Tuesday. He has won all 4 of his regular season starts versus the Astros in his career, while surrendering under 1 earned run per game versus Houston. He's pitched well against them.
Pitched well in this ballpark. Only 1 start. That came against Dallas Keuchel last year, and the Blue Jays scored 2 in the 9th to win that one. This is Jose Altuve. 331 for the season. He reaches for that pitch outside. Altuve swings at a lot of pitches, and Burley's aware of that. So it'll be interesting to see if Burley stays off the plate in this at bat. See if he can't get Altuve to reach. Inside, pulled foul.
He swings early. It's a team that the Houston Astros, they were #1 last year in the American League in swinging at the first pitch and hitting a batting average, 380 last year. They're 7th this year at 366 on the first pitch. So he's got to be aware of that this afternoon.
That's an interesting stat, and one that a lot of people lean on, the first pitch batting average. And when you think about it, they're not swinging at it unless they really like it. There's a pitch just off the plate. So it's a little bit misleading because guys that have a high batting average, obviously they're going to try to get a good pitch on that first pitch. Altuve now a little bit more conservative. Look at, there's only one pitch in the strike zone to Altuve. Despite his penchant for swinging early, he's made Burley work.
And Mark Burley knows that. He knows that he's an aggressive type of swinger, so he's going to nibble and he's going to pick at least early in the ball game against him. See if he can get himself out.
Reaches for that pitch. Tollison's at second. Boy, he made it close. Altuve hustling down the line, but it's one out. Let's take a look at the defense, and you notice the difference right away at second. Let's take a look at the outfield. Chris Colabello, Kevin Pillar, and Ezequiel Carrera in the outfield. It's Donaldson at third, Goins at short. Steve Tollison makes his second start at second base. He's playing for Devin Travis, who's battling that shoulder problem. Encarnacion at first, and Russell Martin.
I spoke with Devin this morning and I asked him how his shoulder is. He wants to play, but it's just bothering him just a little bit too much. It might be today, maybe tomorrow, and then hopefully he'll be back in there.
He didn't really want to link it to that hot shot he took off the shoulder in Cleveland. He said it's just kind of a shoulder issue that's been bothering me. And he knows the situation with the ball club. They're kind of banged up right now, and he hated to leave.
Yeah, he wants to play. He wants to get out there and try and help the ball club win and do their thing. But when your body tells you you can't do it, you got to take a couple of days back.
Luis Valbuena fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the third baseman. Valbuena went 1 for 4 last night. He's got 9 home runs. That 9th home run came Friday night. Deep shot into the seats in right. This is a fly ball left and deep. Colabello is back, and that ball is into the seats. Home run number 10 for Luis Valbuena.
He came into this ball game tied for 7th in the American League in home runs, 1st in American League third baseman, and he shows you why. Mark Burley will give up his share of fly balls like we told you in the opening, and that could be a concern against this team, the Astros, who hit a lot of home runs. Valbuena just muscles that ball the other way.
Boy, that is a home run. It's a home run only in this ballpark because the Crawford seats there jut out onto the playing field. And it sliced right into the corner of those seats.
Maybe Fenway Park, too. Maybe.
Probably off the wall.
Yeah.
That wall is not as high as the wall in Boston.
Inside out swing, and that ball is slicing. And it just makes it. If he hits it about 10 feet to the right, it's going to be caught.
Nice play by Ryan Goins. He throws out George Springer, who can run. Goins backhanded it, took his time, and used that strong arm to throw out Springer.
Well, Ryan Goins has shown that he can play Major League shortstop. He gets a good jump, backhands it, sets his feet, and you're right, George Springer can really run. There's a lot of players in this lineup for the Astros who can run, and Goins has shown that he can throw with anybody in the American League from shortstop.
Evan Gattis, the big burly DH. Gattis had a 2-run home run in the third to make it a 3-2 ball game. That got the Astros to within a run. Pat, how much does confidence play into the success of the Astros the way they're playing right now?
I think when the season started, I don't think anybody could predict what they were doing. I don't even think the players could have predicted it, but they went on a 10-game winning streak early, and I think that confidence is really showing with this ball club. They feel like even when they're behind, they can come back and win.
Mark Burley strikes out Evan Gattis, but Luis Valbuena hits his 10th home run 56 by the Astros. They take a 1-0 lead.
Travis, our own Hazel May, took Devin suit shopping, and we'll see what happened on that excursion. 6:30 Eastern on Blue Jays Central. Guys, when you're a young player, rookie in the league, sometimes you forget about little things like, my goodness, I need a suit now for traveling. He didn't own one. Hazel took him and picked out a real nice one, and he's probably going to be wearing it a lot this year.
Barry, that's awesome, and good on Hazel May for taking Devin Travis shopping and getting him up to speed in Major League duds. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, we'll go check that out. Maybe he can go with us one time. Go shopping like we do.
We got a secret place. This is Russell Martin. Russell, over his last 12 games, he's hit .404 with 4 homers and 8 RBIs, .277 overall for the season. Not many Blue Jays in this lineup have faced Colin McHugh. Russell Martin's one of them. A hanging breaking ball. It was just a bit high, and Martin fouls it off. How do you go after that high breaking ball to hit it most effectively?
I think you got to stay on top of that ball. You got to swing through it. You don't want to cut your swing off. As they say, you go up, swing. I think you got to leave that bat head through the zone and keep that swing, keep rising through the strike zone. Dustin Pedroia does it better than anyone we have seen. That high fastball. What I mean by cutting off your swing, when you swing at that high pitch, you don't want to like drop the bat and you lose all your power. Stay through that ball on a high pitch.
It'll be Martin, Colabello, and Pilar for the Blue Jays here in the second. There's a breaking ball. This is down into the corner and a fair ball. Martin's headed for second, and the ball bounces over the wall out of play for a ground rule double. He got another hanger, and he stayed on top of it.
He is exceptional on going to right field, especially with 2 strikes. Another pitch, breaking ball that is up, and that time you can see his finish is high. Ball slicing down the right field line, hits right on the chalk and bounces out of play. Blue Jays' second inning that they've had the leadoff man on.
Martin hit his first triple since 2007 in the first inning in last night's game. He has a double in his first at bat this afternoon. Chris Colabello. Colabello got underneath that high breaking ball. This at bat should set up perfectly for Colabello's approach.
He's been hitting a lot of balls to right field, and I think the defense is playing that way. You can see the shortstop behind the runner, second baseman and first baseman almost touching each other on the right side, the outfield shading them that way.
That's a good pitch in this situation, one that Colabello really can't drive the other way.
You know what? He hits the ball the other way, and his stroke is the other way because he stays on the ball. But if he throws it inside, if McHugh tries to jam him inside, go ahead and try and yank the ball. I don't think you can play for one run here early in the ball game. I think you got to play for a big inning.
Breaking ball, he went around. Colabello strikes out. That's 3 strikeouts already for Colin McHugh. The breaking ball gets Colabello.
Curveball got Bautista, it got Encarnacion, and now it gets Chris Colabello. He's a little bit out in front on that sharp snapping curveball.
This is Kevin Pillar, and Josh Donaldson after the game, Barry Davis alluded to it at the start of the game, said it's about getting it done. This is not the try league. This is the get it done league. And Donaldson stated it very clearly. You've got to get it done. You can't try to move the runner over. Don't try to drive him in. Just drive him in.
When has that ever changed? It's always been like that. You know, it's the major leagues. You got to get it done.
And I think Donaldson was just being sincere. He's all about winning. He's come from a winning attitude, atmosphere. He wants to continue that here. Kevin Pillar with 1 out. Martin at second base. Foul just outside of third.
There's another hanging breaking ball right there. And Pillar was all over it.
On this road trip, the Blue Jays are 1-5. They've scored 4.3 runs a game. They've only hit .230 as a team. And this is supposed to be an offensive ball club.
There's a few guys missing. You understand that. Bautista has to DH. He can't play in the outfield. No Reyes, no Diana Navarro. But other teams have injuries, and they have a way to figure it out.
The Astros just got George Springer back from the 7-day disabled list, battling a concussion. So Pillar now, a ball and 2 strikes. Springer has homered in this series. Good hack of that breaking ball. Looks like McHugh is going to use that breaking ball to get resolutions here.
Make note of that. All the batters on the Blue Jays side, 2 strikes. Think about that curveball in the back of your mind. He's going to use it. He hasn't used his changeup that much in 2-strike situations. Hasn't really used the cutter. Today it looks like he wants to use that curveball.
Going upstairs here. And gets pop-up. Pillar hanging tough. Okay, so if I'm a hitter now and I'm looking for a curveball with 2 strikes, what do I do when I get a fastball like that?
Well, take it, because it looked like it was a ball, first of all. And you want to set your sights down. Remember the first inning, he had a high fastball, and he followed that up to Bautista with a curveball down in the dirt, and he got a strikeout. That looks like where they're going again.
Fastball does the trick. That's 4 strikeouts.
A little closer look at Colin McHugh and what he features. He'll throw the slider / cutter 44% of the time, fastball about 90 miles an hour, curveball and changeup. But what he wants to do, he wants to get away from that cutter just a little bit more. I think we're going to see more 4-seam fastballs. A.J. Hinch has talked to him and say, hey, look, you're not throwing as many fastballs as we would like. We'd like you to use the fastball just a little bit more and then mix in the breaking ball. I think the best way would be to switch what those percentages were, the slider and the fastball. Get up to 44, 50% fastballs.
Get me over curveball for strike 1 to Ryan Goins. Goins was 1 for 4 in the game last night. Goins coming into this game hitting .300 on this road trip, 6 for 20. And he's had a couple of hard hit balls that didn't find a hole. Martin with the leadoff double. He's still at second base. Goins couldn't hold up on that high heater.
1-2. The outfield is very shallow, I think, for Ryan Goins, especially in left field. Colby Rasmus and Jake Marisnick in center field, they're playing him the other way. But Goins has enough pop to get it over their head.
He hit one to the warning track last night. In right. Conger's doing a nice job of mixing up the patterns. We mentioned the curveball played early with 2 strikes. Now he's used the fastball in this inning. Got a couple of big strikeouts. Right, 3 went back to the curveball. Colin McHugh has 5 strikeouts through 2 innings. The Blue Jays get a leadoff double and can't move the runner.
By the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Lots of goodies here at the ballpark, Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, and that's a big, big dessert this early in the day.
Look like pumpkin pie and ice cream. Whoa. Everything's bigger in Texas, isn't it, Buck?
It looked good. This is Colby Rasmus facing Burley. Rasmus had a big hit in the game last night. He had an opposite field double off Jeff Francis in the 6th inning. That started that 4-run rally. Here he hits a hot shot, gloved by Encarnacion. 1 down.
He had 2 big at-bats against lefties in yesterday's game, so he'll get to start this afternoon against Burley. Almost came up with another one right there.
Mark Burley is perfect 4-0 against the Astros for his career. Last year he pitched just the 1 game. He won that game. Minute Maid Park, he is 1-0 in this ballpark. This is Chris Carter against Liam Hendricks. He got a breaking ball out over the plate with 2 strikes and hammered it to the bullpen.
That was right after the Colby Rasmus double off Jeff Francis, and then 2 strikes. They're trying to waste one, but he got too much of the plate and he hits it into the bullpen in right center field. His only hit of the night, and it was a game changer.
That took the game from a 3-2 deficit to a 5-3 lead. Martin gave the umpire a good look. Off the end of the bat, Goins kind of broke it down. Ron was trying to slide, and that ball looked like it hit the lip of the grass and kicked over his glove. It's a base hit for Carter.
Yeah, it definitely came up on him. That last hop. One more time as he goes over into the hole. Oop, and up over the glove for a base hit. How about that? Why is it that last hop is always the one with the top spin?
Yeah, it's the second hop that picks up spin after hitting the ground, and then that next time it kicks up a little higher. It didn't hit the edge of the grass, but that top spin took it over the glove. Jonathan Villar, he is back at shortstop this afternoon. Villar, a switch hitter, batting right against Burley.
He's got to get him in swing mode. He's got to get these Astro batters, and I don't think it's going to take much to get them to start swinging, get him in the swing mode, and then use his changeup. If his changeup is working today, he'll get a lot of ground balls.
This is bunted in the air and going to land foul. Both Donaldson and Burley just couldn't make a play.
One more time, you can see that spin, that top spin. It just takes off. You ever play with a Super Ball when you were a kid, and that second hop? That's the same feeling that you can get on balls like that.
And you just know it's going to have a little bit extra hop. It's just hard to gauge how high it's going to hop. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the number 7 hitter, Jonathan Villar. Strike 3, that inside pitch. Burley's got that zeroed in once again. Second strikeout.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Hank Conger, switch hitting catcher, catching for the second straight day. That's the inside pitch. It's so good for Mark Burley against these right-handed bats.
Yeah, the cutter. The cutter that they give up on, and it still catches the plate. Conger is catching again today, not just because Jason Castro's 0 for 7 and 3 strikeouts against Mark Burley, but A.J. Hinch likes to give his backup catcher consecutive days behind the plate. He caught yesterday. He's going to catch today. Yeah, that's a good theory.
And it's a good matchup. You give Castro a little breather. And it's not a good matchup for him. He's a left-handed hitter. Conger's a switch hitter, so everything really plays in the favor of Hank Conger. Pops this one out of play. Well, A.J. Hinch was a catcher, and he understands the challenges for his backup catcher. You sit down for a week, 10 days, and get rusty, you're no value to anybody.
Or you play one day, and then you sit for 4 more, and then you play another day. I like that theory of back-to-back games, where you could get your 8 at-bats and get a little rhythm going. They face another left-hander tomorrow. They play the Oakland Athletics tomorrow. Drew Pomeranz is going to be pitching for them. He's a lefty. Castro will be in the lineup tomorrow.
Off-speed pitch. Conger strikes out. A couple of strikeouts in the inning by Burley. Burley has been sharp in his last 3 starts. He beat the Yankees, he beat the Orioles, and he's off to a good start here this afternoon against Houston.
Jays. They take on the Angels at 1:07. It's Victoria Day. It's the first of 4. And then on Wednesday, May 27th, it's the White Sox in at 12:37. That game has been changed from an original start time of 7 o'clock. A couple of great opportunities this month to enjoy some afternoon baseball at Rogers Center. Get your tickets now at BlueJays.com. And guys, tomorrow's pitching matchup sees lefty C.J. Wilson going up against Aaron Sanchez.
Should be a good one, Barry, and you can see there's the matchup. Sanchez will start against the Angels. The Angels have won 8 of 10 in their last 5 straight. They've taken the first 2 from the Orioles in Baltimore. That's a fair ball. Tollefson hooks one inside the bag at third, down into the left field corner. He'll stop at second base with a leadoff double. Colby Erasmus just airmailed that throw back in toward the mound, and Blue Jays have their second consecutive leadoff double, third leadoff man to reach.
That's right.
In this game.
Third straight inning that the Blue Jays have had their leadoff batter on. They've got to be able to bring him around. That time Balbuena anticipating a bunt. He's in, so Steve Tollefson rips one by him. Carrera might lay one down right here.
Carrera had a base hit in his first at bat. He shows bunt and bunts it, a good one out in front of home. Conger's throw is in time. Tollefson moves to third on the sacrifice bunt. Perfectly executed by Carrera. So Tollefson now at third base. Blue Jays are down 1-0. Here is Josh Donaldson. Donaldson 10 for 27 with runners in scoring position. Chance to tie it up at least right here. Infield will stay back. Hit him. Breaking ball hit Donaldson, so that'll put runners into corners with 1 out. Everybody knows that was meant to be down and away.
Well, but he was mad because this is a free RBI for him. He wanted that RBI. Watch the reaction after he gets hit. He's mad. They're like, daggone it. Chance for an RBI, but you got to take your base on that hit by pitch.
So now Bautista, who struck out his first time up, will bat. 1 out, runners at first and third. Bautista is 0 for his last 9 with runners in scoring position. He's left 16 on base.
And they're going to continue to pound him away. Keep that ball away from him. The infield reflects that. They are pulled. Now with Chris Carter holding the runner on first base, we've seen Jose in the past take a shot over there. If he can roll one through the right side, Josh Donaldson's going to be on third base, and the Blue Jays are going to have a run.
Breaking ball, looking that way. Well, everything plays into that approach right now because McHugh's throwing a lot of breaking balls, so you got to stay back to hit those. And then when you stay back, you see that it's going to be back over the plate where you hit it. You can shoot it through the right side.
Good hitters do that. Good run producers are able to take advantage of any situation. This situation right here calls for a base hit.
There's a fly ball to left and deep. Rasmus will make the catch on the warning track. Tollefson tags. The throw goes to second. Bautista has tied it up with a sacrifice fly. His 20th RBI of the season. Bautista was looking something out over the plate, but was able to get the head out and hit it deep enough to left to plate Tollefson, who led it off with a double.
Yeah, he still wasn't able to extend through it. We have seen him hit those type of hanging breaking balls like that a long way. But he still wasn't able to get all of it and get through it. But he got enough of it to drive in the run.
1-1 game.
Watch the swing from Bautista. Hanging breaking ball. And you can see he just could not finish that swing, get out there and extend through it.
Ball in the strike to Encarnacion. Edwin with 9 homers. He's hit 5 in this month of May. Blue Jays, as we mentioned, haven't hit well on this road trip. Just a 220 or 230 average coming into this game. They've hit 6 home runs on the trip. Edwin has hit 4 of them.
Well, they're going to have to start figuring out ways, I think, to score runs without having to hit home runs. They're going to be running into some pretty good pitching now. You'll see King Felix and you'll see Jared Weaver. You'll see all those guys from the Los Angeles Angels. So you're going to have to figure out ways to score runs when you have leadoff doubles like they've had the last couple of innings.
In the Angels series, the Angels will feature C.J. Wilson, Hector Santiago in Game 2, Jared Weaver, and then Matt Shoemaker, who pitched very well against the Orioles last night. Donaldson was on the move. That's ball 4 on the full count pitch. Encarnacion walks. That's the first walk issued by Colin McHugh. Russell Martin doubled in his only at bat.
That's one thing that the Astros have really improved on, I think. When you talk about the improvement that they've had this season in their pitching, their walks. They have the fewest walks in the American League. That was just their 90th on the season. On the other side of that, Blue Jays way out in front, 137 coming into this game.
2 outs for Russell Martin. Big breaking curveball that's in there. Outside. 1-1 game. Blue Jays with 3 hits. The Astros with 2. Houston has a home run. Luis Valbuena hit a first inning home run, his 10th of the season. Breaking ball in the dirt.
He'll go to that breaking ball. 8 out of 10 times he will go to a breaking ball with 2 strikes. It's either the slider or the curveball. Right now he hasn't been able to find it this inning. Looks like he's pitching a little defensively against the Blue Jays this inning.
They'll make you do that. There's a breaking ball. Martin's able to stay alive. Well, the Blue Jays, they have home run power. Martin himself has 7 homers. He now has 9 doubles, a triple, and 7 home runs. 17 extra base hits for the Blue Jays catcher. Upstairs. Full count, 2 outs. Donaldson at second, Encarnacion at first. They'll be off on the pitch. There go the runners. Breaking ball pulled to third, just foul. That ball bounced just outside of the bag at third. That was a breaking ball. Runners will return to their bases.
I'm going to make a prediction. That curveball, he's going to hang it one time, and the Blue Jays are going to jump on it. They've seen enough of it already here in the first 3 innings. And it looks like their timing is getting a little bit better on that curveball.
So we'll do it again. Does he go right back to the curveball? 3-2, 2 outs. It's a 1-1 game. Little slider does the trick. Another strikeout for McHugh. He has 6 strikeouts through 3 innings. The Blue Jays have stranded 4. It's a 1-1 game. Mark Burley to face Marisnik, Altuve, and Valbuena when we come back to Houston.
One-of-a-kind Blue Jays experiences and prizes, or make a donation in the Sportsnet charity broadcast action. Presented by TD. Bidding begins at 6:30 during the Jays game on May 21st. Visit bluejays.com/broadcast auction for details. Buck Tabby, always a lot of money raised for the Jays Care Foundation, a great cause.
It sure is a great cause, Barry, and we always enjoy that. And Ivanka Osmak does a terrific job as the hostess of that auction, so make sure you check that out. That'll take place next homestand. Here is Jake Marisnik, the former Blue Jays farmhand. Marisnik batting 9th. He opened up the series as the leadoff man. He had a rough night that first night. He was 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts.
He's another one that really puts everything into his swing. It doesn't matter the count. 2-strike swing. He swings just as hard as he does early in the count.
Today is the 17th anniversary of David Wells' perfect game for the Yankees, and in honor of that, Shelby Miller is throwing a no-hitter through 6. He's walked 1. He's only thrown 63 pitches. Shelby Miller, of course, pitching for the Braves. David Wells, that perfect game in Yankee pinstripes. Today is the 17th anniversary of that great game. That's a little flare. It's trouble if it's fair, but it's foul by a couple of feet. We mentioned Matt Shoemaker pitching well against the Orioles. He allowed just 1 run in 7 innings in Baltimore, and he is 7-0 over his last 9 starts. The Blue Jays will see him on Thursday in the finale against the Angels. And Shoemaker has really come out of nowhere to take a prominent role in that rotation for the Angels. Bouncing ball. Donaldson gives ground, throws low, scooped by Encarnacion at first. A big attaboy from Donaldson for the effort by Encarnacion. Jose Altuve will come to the plate. Altuve, one of the best hitters in the game on a batting type a year ago. He was a double threat with his hits and steals. 452 hits since 2013.
Since 2013, look at the great hitters on that list. He has more hits than the great Miguel Cabrera. Everybody around baseball talks about Robbie Cano being the best second baseman. He's got more hits than Robbie Cano. He runs a little bit faster. Cano might have a little bit more speed.
This is bounced foul. Altuve, Cabrera, Adrian Beltre, Cano, and Adam Jones, the top 5 on that list. Matt Carpenter is 6, and then Mike Trout. We'll see Trout tomorrow afternoon. Trout and Altuve are very similar in their abilities. Hits and steals. This has popped up on the infield.
You know what you have to do to get on a list like that? Number one, you have to be good. And all 5 of those players are good that we just showed. But you have to play every day. And he plays every day, as does Cabrera and Beltre, Cano, and Adam Jones. You play every day, you get your chances, your at-bats, you're going to get a lot of hits.
Yeah, that's really interesting. When you look at the games played over those 3 seasons, Jones 353, Cano 353, Beltre 346, Cabrera 344, Altuve 347. Got to play every day to be a good player.
Yeah, and force yourself, get out there. You're not going to feel great every single day. Get out there and just play.
That's the definition of the word. Players play.
Everyday players are hard to find in baseball.
Being an everyday player is a real challenge. Not only physically, but mentally. To be able to go out there and get your 4 or 5 at-bats every single day. Handle the offers. Don't get too glad and happy on the big days, but just keep the even keel. I tell you what, Burley's throwing good. The last 3 games, he's been really on his game.
Yeah, his cutter, he's putting it in a good spot. It's a little bit firmer and sharper. It's got the late break back to it. He's using his changeup this time. He's just pitching a lot better in his last couple of starts.
Well, he's got a couple of big games against the Astros going back into 2005. He started game 2 of the World Series against Andy Pettitte. This is a chopper. Goins on the first base side of second. Throws him out. Mark Burley, 5 in a row, retired. We've got a roof here in Houston, and it's a good thing. We might not be playing. There's a big thunderstorm outside.
for pitchers. As you see, Alex Torres is wearing one, but he's the only one in Major League Baseball that wears it. Most pitchers say it's just too uncomfortable or just doesn't look good. What you may not know is Colin McHugh has got a protective piece of plastic. It's Kevlar inside his cap, as you can see right there. It was actually a friend of his that he played high school ball with that came up with the idea. He puts the piece in the side of his cap where most of the damage would be done after throwing a pitch. He says that it feels great. You don't see anything. He's never been hit by a pitch, but he knows that if that time ever does come, he is protective. And guys, it's a strange thing that more pitchers haven't decided to go with something like this, because it looks like a great idea compared to what we've seen so far.
Well, it sure is, and you can barely notice it under his cap as Colabello goes after the first pitch, and that's past Marisnik. Colabello is headed to second. Ball is deep in center field, and how about this? The Blue Jays with another double. Third time they've had a leadoff double. Fourth time they've had the leadoff man aboard. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, man, that's the problem you have. You just never know when somebody's going to get hit by a line drive or hit by a pitch. But most of the pitchers will tell you most of the damage is done below the hat line. And that's what is a challenge, to figure out something that might help them with that.
I'll tell you, it takes a lot of courage to stand out there. You see that ball coming back at you. It's scary. I have pitched against minor leaguers with the screen, and I got hit. I didn't get behind it one time. I'm telling you, that thing comes back there quick, and it is frightening.
Pilar hits it off the end of the bat. Good read by Colabello. Well, that ball wasn't really in behind him, but he read it as a softly hit ground ball, and he moved up on the grounder to the shortstop. Oftentimes they tell base runners, make sure it's behind you.
Behind you, but watch him. He takes a secondary lead, and it's hit right at him. But he recognizes that that ball is not hit that hard. No play for Villar to get the run. And that's a big 90 feet that the Blue Jays gain right there on that ground down. Now they can do a few different things. You could squeeze here. You could safety squeeze. You've got to bring the infield in, so that makes Goins a better hitter. Lots of options now.
It's a 1-1 game. Breaking ball. Goins caught looking at a breaking ball for strike 3 back in the second. McHugh struck out the side in the second after giving up the leadoff double to Russell Martin. The Blue Jays have had 3 leadoff doubles this afternoon. They've only been able to cash in one so far, and Colabello, of course, he's still at third.
4 straight innings with a leadoff hit. Got to take advantage of it.
Good take off the plate inside. It's 1-2. 2-1.
Infield in, if they don't squeeze or if they don't try to do something along those lines, this might be an at bat right here where they make the ball go through. Chris Colabello at third base doesn't have a lot of speed where you can try and steal a run on a contact play, and it doesn't look like he is trying to get his momentum going home.
Goins chased one that might have been off the plate outside. Colabello with the leadoff double advanced to third on the ground down. Goins has 6 RBIs this season. Needs a battle here with 2 strikes. Try to drive something to the outfield.
He struck out on a curveball, a backdoor curveball. He tried a couple of fastballs right there. This might be the time for it.
Up and away, full count. Steve Tolleson will be next. And a pretty good pitch to hit. A little bit of cut on that fastball, and Goins fouls it back.
Still up. Everything has been up. Take advantage of that. The Blue Jays have gotten their chances with runners on base today. And they able to push them through.
There's a drive. That'll score a run. Rasmus is back. Colorado tags. Goins comes through. He got it done. Sacrifice fly. Colorado comes in to score. The Blue Jays take a 2-1 lead.
Changeup, which is surprising. Not really a strikeout type of pitch. And they needed a strikeout there. Changeup, and it was up. Goins does a good job of keeping his hands back right there and just shooting the ball the other way. No chance for Rasmus. Blue Jays take the lead on a couple of sacrifice flies.
Bautista had a sac fly in the third. Now Goins here in the fourth. Tolleson doubled. He scored the first Blue Jay run. So the Blue Jays have cashed in 2 of their leadoff doubles here this afternoon. Joe's bunt takes the ball. Tolleson starting in place of Devin Travis, who had to come out of the game after an at-bat in the 7th last night. Looks like the Blue Jays have picked up on the fact they're going to get some sliders, cutters, and breaking balls, and everybody's a little more patient now, waiting back on that ball to break.
85% of the time with 2 strikes, you're going to get a slider or a curveball. They picked up on that. There's the curveball.
There's the curveball. He drops it on the corner for a strikeout. But the Blue Jays, with a leadoff double and a sacrifice fly, have taken the lead. Mark Burley staked to a 2-1 lead.
Country Day presented by TD. Blue Jays host the Mariners at 1:07, and the first 20,000 fans will receive a free Blue Jays trucker hat. Special appearances by Jess Moskaluk, Chad Brownlee, and Gord Bamford. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets. It is Country Day with the Blue Jays. Always a great time. Buck?
Barry, you going to wear your string tie that day?
I will, and I'm actually going to invite our friend here with the big mustache. And see if he wants to come with us.
Oh, he's a big baseball fan. He'll make the trip.
He's got to turn around for us, though.
You got to cue him. Turn around, big fella. Mark Burley gets ahead of George Springer, who fouls off the first pitch. Springer grounded to shortstop his first time up.
He too is an or nothing type of hitter right now early in his career. He's had 2 hits on his homestand, both home runs.
It's all about learning how to hit, and you have to understand the dynamics of what a pitcher's trying to do to you. The biggest thing is to get a good pitch to hit.
Yeah, and the good ones get it. They eventually figure it out. But you just look at the raw power and the raw talent from George Springer. He's going to be a good player. And A.J. Hinch is showing a lot of confidence in him. Even though he's hitting under 200, they have him hitting in the number 3 hole. That's usually reserved for your team's best hitter, all-round hitter.
Springer takes a leadoff walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. And Shelby Miller will face the bottom third of the Marlins lineup when he pitches the ninth. That'll be something to keep a track on, and we have talked about this is the 17th anniversary of the perfect game for David Wells. Atlanta 17-19. The Marlins, who everybody picked to be a contending ball club, and they still may well be. They're 16-21.
They got Henderson Alvarez back today, right? He's started in that game for the Marlins.
Alvarez went 5 1/3. He gave up 6 runs on 9 hits. This is a fly ball to shallow left off the bat of Evan Gattis. Falabella makes the catch, 1 down.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Nothing like nachos at the old ballpark. Gotta have a little salsa, a little jalapenos, and we're all set. They got good food here. Barely just the courtesy move over there for Springer. Springer can run. He's 10 of 11 in steal attempts. He never had a real good look at Mark Burley, and he hasn't seemed a good move yet.
Yeah, that was just the old casual throw over to first base.
It's a little better move.
A little bit better.
Springer's back.
Been waiting for 4 days to see this matchup. The speed that the Astros have against the throwing ability of Russell Martin. Martin has been the best in the American League at catching base stealers, and the Astros have a lot of team speed.
Well, and the Astros, they're really handcuffed by the fact that not only does Martin throw well, but Burley is tough to steal him. Last year there were only 4 steal attempts all season long, and only 1 stolen base against Burley. He's got 99 career pickoffs. So you can't stray too far, get too much of a good jump.
That's one of the things about being a good pitcher. Control the running game.
I was never a base stealer nor a base runner by any means, and I was picked off by Mike Mason, left-hander for the Rangers. I was looking at the catcher to see where the ball was, and the first baseman tagged me out. I'd never moved. That's really embarrassing when you don't have any speed.
What were you looking at the catcher for?
I wanted to see the ball going to home. He fooled me so bad with his delivery. I was waiting for the ball to hit the catcher's mitt.
One thing wrong with that, the pitcher still had the ball.
He threw it to first. Second walk of the inning. First 2 walks in the ball game for Burley, and he has walked himself into danger with big Chris Carter.
Some very borderline pitches that the Astros showed some patience with.
Yeah, that's really interesting given the fact they swing so often and strike out so much. A couple of walks have him in a good position here. Chris Carter had an infield single his first time up. Burley gets ahead of him with a fastball.
That has been the problem right there. The road woes this season. When they're on the road, they have just been giving up too many more walks and too many more home runs
And it's really interesting given the fact that Rogers Center is a hitter's ballpark. You wouldn't think the numbers would be that skewed to the road side of things.
That ball was by him.
He blew it by him, that's for sure, at 84 miles an hour. But when you're thinking about off-speed, changeups, cutters, and curveballs, that 84 can look 94.
And that's what pitching is all about. Change speeds, keep that batter off balance.
And he does. Another big strikeout. Carter strikes out. That's the second out of the inning.
Again, low 80s fastball. And when you're looking for something off speed and then you recognize that it's a fastball, you got that emergency hack and the ball's by you.
We mentioned Burley started Game 2 of the World Series against Houston in 2005. There's a ball drilled to left field. That is going to be over. Colombo up against the scoreboard. One run is in. They'll stop at second and third as VR jumped on the first pitch and has tied it up. An RBI single with 2 outs here in the fourth. An RBI double, his second double of the season.
He wasn't waiting around. The first pitch that he saw, he rifles this ball to left field. Now it's going to be extra bases, but Colabello does a good job. He doesn't get too close to that wall and then uses his whole frame to catch that ball. If that ball bounces over his head and he's got to retrieve it, chances are Colby Rasmus is going to be able to score from first base. So he caught the ball, got it back in, and held him to a double.
Springer scores. Rasmus now at third, VR at second. It's a 2-2 game. First pitch swinging is Hank Concord. Pilar, the center fielder, has plenty of room. The Astros score a run on 2 walks and an RBI double. They strand a pair, but we move to the fifth. It's 2-2.
Way across the country. Presented by Baseball Canada and Little League Canada. 2015 stops include Abbotsford, BC, Okotoks, Alberta, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Victoria, BC, and Toronto, Ontario. BlueJays.com/Baseball Academy will have more information. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Buck?
It's a great program. Dwayne Ward, the former closer for the Blue Jays, heads up that program, and he recruits a lot of Blue Jay alumni to participate in those coaching clinics, so make sure you check it out.
Very passionate.
Near you.
Very passionate about doing that. All the guys, when they come back, they love it.
Ezequiel Guerrero has singled and had a sacrifice bunt. He is hitting in the leadoff spot. Didn't mean to. Try to check his swing and fouls it back. Colin McHugh, as Pat mentioned earlier, had his long winning streak snapped last time out. He's an interesting story in that he signed with the Mets and was traded to Colorado. Houston got him on waivers. And I haven't checked Colorado a lot lately, but do they have that much pitching?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate oversight by Colorado. Houston got him on waivers before the end of 2013 in December. And he was a guy that made his debut with the Mets. He had a terrific major league debut for the Mets. 7 scoreless innings, August 23rd, 2012. And it's interesting, he threw a 2-hit, 7-inning scoreless outing against Colorado. So what's Colorado do?
Pick him up.
They traded for it. Line to the second baseman, Altuve. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, D. Gordon would add a single after the no-hitter was broken up, but Martin Prado popped out to end the ball game, so Shelby Miller gives up 2 hits in a 9-inning effort.
That's a good trade for the Braves.
Boy, wasn't that interesting? We all said, well, how can the Cardinals give up Shelby Miller? And it was good for the Braves and good for the Cardinals.
Jason Hayward goes the other way. Goes to the Cardinals. The Cardinals have so much pitching.
Now, Donaldson had a sacrifice bunt, and he's been hit by a pitch this afternoon. You say, well, how did Donaldson have a sacrifice bunt? Well, he was actually trying to bunt for a base hit and bunted it back to the pitcher. The runner moved up, credited with a sac bunt. We're in the 5th. That right there is exactly why Donaldson's become a good hitter. He was looking breaking ball and gets a fastball strike. Earlier in his career, he would have swung at it. And now he sticks to the plan. There's a breaking ball, beat on the ground. VR throws quickly in time. 2 down.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
The Blue Jays wrapping up a 7-game road trip. 3 in Baltimore, 4 here in Houston. They've won just 1 game. Bautista pops up the first pitch. Jose picked up a sacrifice fly in the 3rd. He drove in the first Blue Jay run of the afternoon. That's his 20th RBI of the season. Pops this one up. This is playable. Altuve calls for it. Makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. We are indoors at Minute Maid Park, and thank goodness it is nasty outside. The thunderstorm has rolled into town.
network for only $11.99 per month. Visit WWE.com/Canada for more. Buck?
Great entertainment. Make sure you check that out. Blue Jays will be back home tomorrow afternoon. Victoria Day, a day game against the Angels. First pitch curveball. Mark Burley in a 2-2 game. This is Jake Marisnick. Oh, what time play by Donaldson. He leaped perfectly and takes a hit away, maybe extra bases from Marisnick.
You know, I was just thinking how important it is to get this guy right here. You don't want to turn over the lineup, and it sends a screamer to third base, but look at Josh Donaldson. Get up and spear it right there. Up, right into the webbing. That was 2 for sure.
That's a hang with him for Marisnick. You hit it hard. Back to the top of the order. Altuve goes after the first pitch, right to Donaldson. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th.
Need to pick on somebody else. Josh Donaldson's been catching everything.
Well, that's the program when Burley goes to the mound. Left-hander is going to get a lot of balls hit to the left side. When you think about the double Jonathan Villar hit off the scoreboard, Colabello played it well and saved a run possibly as he got it back in quickly.
And because he doesn't overpower you, so he's going to get a lot of ground balls and a lot of fly balls to left field. So put your best defenders over there.
Luis Valbuena. He hit a ball to left field in the first inning, but it sliced into the Crawford seats for his 10th home run. This ball is drilled to center field, but Pilar got a good break on it. Mark Burley, a very efficient 5th inning. 3 up, 3 down. It took him just 6 pitches. It'll be Encarnacion, Martin, and Colabello in this 2-2 game.
Game live or on demand in True HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and much more. MLB.TV Premium also includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. And a look at the app today, Buck, you see that some Eastern Division teams like the Orioles and the Rays are both winning, yet the Yankees are losing 4-0.
Chris Capuano started that game for New York, and he lasted just 3 innings. He was charged with 4 earned runs. Baltimore is leading L.A. The Angels 1-0. The Orioles run scores on a wild pitch by the starter Garrett Richards. That's the only run of the ball game. Stephen Wright, big 6'6" right-hander, came up from the minor leagues to pitch for the Orioles and had a great outing. Getting a lot of help from their minor league system as you look at the line for Wright. 7 1/3, 4 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts.
Another one of their good young pitchers that they have. I don't know who was bumped out of the rotation. Bud Norris, maybe? I know Tillman's going to miss a start.
Norris was sick. Norris has been battling that.
That's right.
Stomach virus, and they scratched him and called up right. Encarnacion didn't like the call. It was a fastball. He felt it was off the plate.
Well, he crosses up Edwin Encarnacion. Remember, he's been throwing that curveball or that slider with 2 strikes. This time, he puts a fastball right on the outside corner. Edward doesn't think so. That fastball's right there. It's a good pitch.
8 strikeouts for McHugh. Encarnacion, a couple of strikeouts and a walk so far today. Colin McHugh had 11 strikeouts against Oakland in his second start of the season. That is his season high. His career high is 12 last April at Seattle against the Mariners. There's a base hit for Martin into center field. Russell's 2 for 3.
Got a little happy with that fastball away with 2 strikes, caught way too much of the plate. And Russell is locked in when he's hitting that ball that way. His double came down the right field line. Now he's got a multi-hit game.
Stanley Cup action, Blackhawks and Ducks on CBC on now, so make sure you check that out. Rangers got off to a good start in their series against Tampa Bay. 1 out, Chris Colabello. He doubled and scored in the 4th. Colabello has 9 hits in the 7 games on the road trip. Came to this game batting .333 for the trip. Colabello told me a great story about his tryout with the Worcester Tornadoes in the Can-Am League independent team, his only chance to continue his baseball career. Rich Gedman was the manager. He was throwing batting practice, and Gedman told him, hit the ball to right. He hit a long home run. He said, get the ball on the ground to right. Hit a long home run. He said, man, I'm feeling good. Hitting home runs, everything's going great. After the round of BP, Gedman told him, I have seen 100 guys hit home runs in batting practice in the major leagues, can't do a thing. You need to hit the ball the other way.
And he learned to hit the ball the other way, and that's been his strength.
And you can see he got a little jumpy talking to himself to stay back, and that is his strength. He's got power to the opposite field, but he's not really a home run hitter.
No, he's just got a good average. He's got a good idea at the plate. 7 years in independent league baseball. 7. There are the numbers that prove that he hits the ball the other way or right back through the box.
You ask him about the long stretch of independent baseball, and what was his answer?
Well, normally you'll hear guys say, I just want to get to the big leagues and I want to make some money and things like that. You know what he said? He said, I just love baseball. I can't see myself doing anything else but playing baseball. I love to come to the ballpark. I love to put the uniform on. I love to feel the bat in my hand. I love to hit. I love everything about the game of baseball.
He is a baseball rat. There's no denying that. He's out here every day early. Came to this ballpark and just kind of looked around. I said, wow, this is a special place. He said, but then again, every ballpark in the big leagues is a special place. Full count, 1 out. Russell Martin at first. It's a 2-2 game, top of the 6th. There goes Martin. Ball is lifted in the air. Marisnick Charging hard. Martin's going to have to hustle. Here's the throw, and it's into the dugout. So Marisnick will pick up an air. And he gets to go to third base as he went back to first. A throw from the field out of play will result in 2 bases. So Martin will end up at third base.
Well, he's caught in the middle. You can see he starts the runner. Now he's got to make a decision. Is he going to catch the ball? And he does. Marisnick does. But in his haste to get the ball back in to try and double up, Russell throws it into the dugout. And any time a thrown ball goes out of play, it's 2 bases from where you started. So Martin is at first. He's allowed to go to third base.
Marisnick was a little bit surprised when he looked up and saw Martin headed back to first. You got to pick up on the fact that that runner broke, and you got to play it out in your mind, so when you catch the ball you anticipate you're going to make a throw to first. But he is charged with an error. Kevin Pillar now with Martin at third. There's a fly ball to left. Rasmus came in. Now he retreats, but he makes a running catch. So the air doesn't hurt the Astros as Martin is left at third base. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still a 2-2 game. George Springer will start it off against Burley when we come back.
Pole out in center field. As you can see, there is no yellow tape in front of it, meaning if a ball hits that and goes up the 436 feet and lands back on the field, it is in fact a ball in play. Throughout the history of this stadium, only one player has hit that. It was Richie Sexson back in 2003. He was sure it was a home run. It ended up going for a triple. It ended up tying the game in the top of the 9th inning. However, in the bottom of the 10th, it was won by the Astros on a sacrifice fly by a guy named Greg Zahn. You may have heard of him.
Greg Zahn had a game-winning sacrifice fly after that long home run off the foul pole. That's a unique aspect of this ballpark. Sometimes you expect there to be a yellow line if it's above that, but not the case here. Plenty of room in center for this one as Pillar will make the catch. Springer is retired.
How about the flagpole in play? In Comerica Park, when they first opened up, they had the flagpoles on the in play in center field.
And the fences were all the way back to the stands. Remember, the bullpens were out of right
field.
field.
That's right. They moved it in.
And the players complained that Big Park was too big, so they shortened the fences. Of course, the flagpole in Old Tiger Stadium was on the field as well, 440 feet away in center. Yankee Stadium, the monuments were on the field and the flagpole. So you could hit a ball out the monuments, it could rattle around off the granite, hit the flagpole, and still be in play.
Yeah, and outfielder had to go in behind them to go get the ball, retrieve it, and get it back into play.
This is popped up and playable. Encarnacion in foul territory retires Evan Gattis. Burley with 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Boy, Burley, he got off to a shaky start. He won his first 3 decisions, but by his own admission, he got a lot of run support. In the last 3 starts, he's been terrific. He beat the Yankees to snap a 12-game losing streak on May 6th, and then just really overmatched Baltimore over 6 innings. There's a deep drive to right. Colby Erasmus has given the Astros the lead. It's the second home run for Erasmus. His 7th home run of the season.
Colby had a couple of good at-bats in last night's game against the left-handers, Jeff Francis. He got a double off of Francis, and then Brett Cecil, he got a single, so he gets the start this afternoon. And he is rewarded with a long home run to right field. He has been averaging 21 home runs per year for the last 3 seasons in the big leagues.
That's his first home run against lefty pitching this year, and it was just out over the plate, thigh high, and he took care of it. This is Chris Carter. He hits one deep to center, but there's plenty of room there for Pilar. So Burley gives up his 2nd home run, this one to Colby Erasmus. We have played 6 innings. The Astros have a 3-2 lead. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. The Astros have a 3-2 lead, looking to sweep the 4-game series. For the Blue Jays, it'll be 8-9-1. Goins, Tollison, and Carrera.
Got to dig deep right now. You got to get this guy right here. This is probably his last inning. The Q has been, I think, walking a tightrope all afternoon. The Blue Jays just have not been able to bust through. And then when you get into that bullpen, it makes it a lot tougher.
Blue Jays haven't done a thing against the bullpen in this series. McHugh, 2 runs on 5 hits. He has 8 strikeouts. Well, Harris did a terrific job coming in relief on Friday night. He entered the game in the 7th with runners at 1st and 2nd. He got Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion in order to strand 2.
That was the game right there. Sometimes the save is in the 7th inning. Doesn't always come in the 9th.
That point of the game, the Blue Jays were threatening to get back in it. They'd scored 3 runs in the 6th. And they trailed by 3, but couldn't do anything against Will Harris. Full count to the leadoff man, Ryan Goins, here in the 7th. Hard fastball. Another strikeout. That's 9 strikeouts. 1 down here in the 7th.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Minute Maid Park on a rainy day here in Houston. Hollison drills this one to left. Rasmus on the run. He's not going to get it. It's up against the wall. Rasmus plays it off the wall. Tollison with his 2nd double of the afternoon. And the Blue Jays have the tying run in scoring position.
Another double. Changeup. High changeup for the first pitch to Tollison. He's got some pop. That is a deep area out there in left center field. Changeup up. Tolly doesn't wait around. He smacks that ball into the gap in left center field. Good job by the center fielder Marisnik to get over there, to back up and hold him to a double. Blue Jays have another double and another runner in scoring position.
Ezequiel Carrera, the right fielder for the Blue Jays, had a single in his first at bat. Lays off that high breaking ball.
That is 4 doubles this afternoon by the Blue Jays. They have had a hit in every inning but the 5th. So they have put the pressure on Colin McHugh, but they just have not been able to push one through.
Ground ball, Altuve at 2nd. 2 down. Hollison moves to 3rd. The Blue Jays have stranded 5 so far in this game, and they've gone 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Josh Donaldson officially 0 for 1. See Conger right there. We talked about him tapping the glove, and he had done that throwing breaking balls yesterday and today. Today, he tapped for the fastball. He might have picked up on the fact that Blue Jays, maybe they might tip, but he decoyed a little bit with that glove tap.
Well, there's so many things that you can do to pick up pitches from the catcher. You can feel him moving around back there. You could hear him. I remember playing against a guy who did that same thing. The catcher, whenever there was a curveball, he would hit his glove twice. And you said, oh, hey, another breaking ball. Hitting becomes a lot easier when you know what's coming.
Donaldson hits a high fly ball into center. Marisnik in front of the Astros bullpen makes the catch and ends the Blue Jays' threat. They strand another base runner. They have left 6 through 7 innings, and the Astros have a 3-2 lead.
sportsnet.com/schedule for matchups, channel listings, and start times. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. And make sure you check it all out on sportsnet.ca. Let's take a look at the #1 draft picks. Now, this is the first pick overall in the June drafts, and Houston's had the first pick because of their bad record. They drafted Brady Aiken in 14, Mark Capel in 13, and Carlos Correa in 12. Correa just moved to AAA Fresno, and many people around the Astros believe that Jeff Lunau, the GM, is going to call upon Correa probably around the All-Star break sometime and insert him at shortstop to try to give a jolt to the offense.
And he's a game changer from everything that we have heard. The Astros have not had a winning record since 2008, so they have a lot of high draft picks. They've had the worst record in baseball over the last 3 years, and they are starting to cash in on these high draft picks. This Carlos Correa from Puerto Rico, #1 overall. 20 years old, entering the 2015 season, the #3 prospect in all of baseball by MLB.com. So that shows you the type of talent that's coming through the pipeline for the Astros.
The Astros lost 107 games in 2012, 111 2013, 92 last year, so they've had the #1 overall pick. You got to make sure you hit on those overall picks because those are the guys that can turn your fortunes around as a franchise.
And it's interesting, the Brady Aiken, we saw that. He was the #1 overall. They did not sign him. So they will now have the second pick in this June's draft along with their 5th overall. So they get 2 more high top 5 picks this next summer in the draft next month. I mean, they're just going to be adding to all the great players that they have in their farm system.
They made Brady Aiken a good offer as a June draft. They offered him $6.5 million, and then they did the physical. They saw something in the oval they didn't like, and they dropped the offer to $5 million. Now, Aiken has since undergone Tommy John surgery. He's eligible for the draft this June, and it might be a situation much like Jeff Hoffman of the Blue Jays, who had Tommy John surgery prior to the draft, and Blue Jays took him anyway.
Because of the talent that they were so good. But I like what baseball's done if you don't sign your #1 pick, that you still get a high draft pick the next year.
Jonathan Villar rips another ball down the left field line. It's up against the scoreboard, and he'll have his second double of the afternoon. Villar had an RBI double in the 4th. He has a leadoff double here in the 7th.
He had a double the first night we were in here to right field that ended up being the game winner. This time he pulls it right over the head of Josh Donaldson and down into that corner one more time. That is a big add-on run for the Astros to try to score, and it's a big run for the Blue Jays to prevent from scoring.
Roberto Osuna begins to loosen up for the Blue Jays down in their bullpen. Hank Conger, a switch hitter, shows bunt and bunts it foul off the screen. Now you have to remember that Mark Buehrle's a terrific fielder. Buehrle broke to the first base foul line, anticipating that Conger was going to bunt it to first base. If Buehrle gets it quickly, they got a shot at the guy trying to move from second to third.
They certainly do. Conger's got to give himself up. If he's still sacrificing, he's got to get the bat out there a little bit sooner and give himself up.
Squares again and takes a strike. Buehrle crossed him up and threw a breaking ball. Would you have him bunt with 2 strikes?
No. I wouldn't, because I'm watching the Blue Jays defense, and there's a lot of holes. Now with 2 strikes, they won't be so exaggerated. They'll hold their ground just a little bit. I'd let him swing away.
Yeah, he was.
You'll still have 2 shots, even if they don't lose that runner. He's still in scoring position. You still have 2 shots to score him.
Got Marisnik, the #9 hitter, and then Altuve, the leadoff man. Boy, what a job by Conger. He took that inside pitch and guided it back up the middle to move the base runner over to third. That'll get a lot of recognition in the dugout for the Astros catcher doing such a good job of moving the base runner.
You know, it's an offer for Conger, but that is a beautiful piece of hitting. Watch his hands come through first. And that allows the bat to drag just a little bit. And you just get it by the pitcher. Get it up the middle. That is tough to do with 2 strikes. Good piece of hitting right there.
Well, that sets up Jake Marisnick. And all of these things really play into a team approach. Marisnick's now thinking, hey, man, all I got to do is get a sacrifice fly. Conger sacrificed his at-bat to move the runner into scoring position with less than 2 outs.
Yeah, you want to pick up your teammate.
As Donaldson said after the game last night, this is not the try league, this is the get it done league. Hank Conger got it done with that at bat.
How many times have you heard it in baseball? What have you done for me lately? And it's so true.
Marisnick's going to cash in the runner from third. Villar tags up. Jonathan Villar comes in to score. Marisnick picks up the RBI with a sacrifice fly. An insurance run for Houston here in the 7th.
Difference in that ball game. Blue Jays had a leadoff double in the 2nd, could not score. They had a leadoff double in the 3rd, and they did score him on a sacrifice fly. But they've done it a couple of times now. 3 sacrifice flies in this game by both of these teams.
Altuve goes after the first pitch. Donaldson throws him out. That'll end the inning. But the Astros cash in an insurance run. Leadoff double sac fly by Marisnick will go to the 8th. It's a 4-2 Astros lead.
Workers, teammates, family, and friends with Blue Jays group tickets. Book your group today at bluejays.com/groups. Bye.
Thank you very much, Barry. And the Blue Jays will look at another member of this very effective Astros bullpen. Pat Neshek pitched in the opener here in this ballgame. He's having a terrific start to his season with Houston.
How about 14 strikeouts and no walks? That's tied for first among Major League relievers in strikeout to walk ratio. He's undefeated at 3-0 in 16 games. Neshek's got that funky delivery. He can sink it. He throws a little bit of a slider. Very tough on the right-handed batters. You can see 188, and that's who he gets in this inning.
Bautista, Encarnacion, and Russell Martin against Neshek. And he throws the first pitch strike. Neshek faced Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion in the 8th inning on Thursday. Gave up a single but got a double play to end the inning. High fly down the right side. Long run for Springer, but that's going to be into the seats. Bautista lined out against Neshek to the third baseman in his only at bat on Thursday against the right-hander.
He's faced him 3 times, and he's hit the ball hard 3 times against Nisha.
Couple home runs. Disappointing road trip for John Gibbons and the Blue Jays. One and 5 in the road trip to this point. Houston has scored 4 runs this afternoon. Coming into this game, they are 21-0 when they score 4 or more runs. That speaks to how good their bullpen is.
Directly right to their bullpen. They're also trying to go 14-2 when Dallas Keuchel or Colin McHugh starts a game, and that speaks to their bullpen also, how good they have been.
Bautista out in front, pops it up to left. Colby Rasmus waits on it, and it's the first out of the 8th.
Took a little something off that breaking ball right there. He'll throw that breaking ball at different speeds. One a little bit harder, and then take a little something off, and that time he got Jose out in front.
Edwin Encarnacion has gone 0 for 2 with a walk. The Astros with the best record in the American League. 24-13 coming into this game. It has been a dramatic turnaround for Houston. A.J. Hinch in his first season as manager. Last year the Astros were 70-92. Encarnacion hits it to left, but Rasmus over quickly into the alley makes the catch. 2 fly ball outs here in the 8th.
You know, you asked me earlier if the Astros believe. Well, I said at the beginning of the season when they started spring training, I don't think anybody believed, but you can see they're gaining momentum. They're believing in themselves, and I think they're going to be around all season long. I don't think this is a 2 or 3 week type of thing where they got hot. I think this is a legitimate contender now in the American League West. Didn't think that at the beginning of the season.
Well, and they've got some help. Dallas Keuchel's off to a great start. He's 5-0. Colin McHugh is in a position to go 5-1. They got a 21-year-old right-hander coming up to make his major league debut tomorrow against Oakland. Lance McCullers Jr. They got a shortstop that they picked #1 overall, Carlos Correa, that's in AAA. Probably going to join the Astros mid-season. Russell Martin fouls it into the seats. Martin has gone 2 for 3. The Blue Jays staring at a 4-game sweep. The last time they were swept in a 4-game series was that fateful series in Oakland last July, when they really fell out of the picture. They had been in first place right after that series against Oakland, and then they lost 4 straight to the A's.
They also lost Edwin in that series also.
That's a problem. Factored into their record in the second half, losing Encarnacion. Martin pulls it to third, to Hopper, to Valbuena. Nishak, a perfect 8th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Houston has a 4-2 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong. was his 10th home run of the season. And he has a career high of 12 home runs a couple of years ago. But Pat, it looks like everything is out over the plate where he likes to really extend those arms.
Yeah, that's where he hit his home run. It looked like a breaking ball that was away to him in that first inning, and he shot the ball the other way. He leads All-American League third baseman in home runs. And he likes that ball away, so they're going to have to crowd him, I think, with pitches now. So he ties up his arms so he doesn't extend through the baseball.
Mark Buehrle overall, not a bad outing. You figure if you're going to hold the opponents to 4 runs, you got a chance to win. But that's not the case when you're up against the Astros. Their pitching is so good. You really have to focus on keeping them below that 4-run plateau.
See what happens when you throw the ball inside? He hits it off his foot.
So I've got that shin guard on, and he missed the shin guard. Buehrle has given up 2 home runs today. Look at that last pitch.
Inside and then right off the shin guard.
Comes right back in there again.
He likes that ball away from him. A lot of hitters do. They like that ball out there where they can do stuff with it. They don't like to get tied up inside.
Perfect pitch, couple of fastballs inside, breaking ball away for the strikeout. 5 strikeouts for Buehrle. One out, bottom of the 8th inning. The home runs we mentioned, a problem for the Blue Jays. They've averaged 1.26 home runs for every 9 innings this season. That's the 2nd highest ratio in franchise history. Home runs have really been a problem for the Jays.
And the problem is compounded when they start walking a lot of people. Then they're not solo home runs. Then they're multiple run home runs, and that's tough to overcome.
The pitching thought to be okay coming out of spring training, but the numbers for the season put them at or near the bottom in many of the important categories, and that's right through Buehrle's legs into center. Springer has his first hit of the afternoon. That's the 6th hit for Houston. The hits are even at 6 apiece.
We were talking earlier about pitchers getting hit with balls, lined right back through the middle. Buehrle looked like he offered at maybe trying to kick that ball, but then had better thoughts. The ball went right through his legs.
This is Evan Gattis. Springer can run. Well, Buehrle's going to keep a close watch on him. Springer is 10 for 11 in steal attempts.
He walked and scored in the 4th inning, so he has seen Mark Buehrle's good move. He's got a very aggressive lead over there at first base.
Buehrle down and away. It's snared by Martin. Evan Gattis has gone 0 for 3 so far this afternoon. He struck out against Buehrle in the 1st. Pops this one up. That's going to reach the seats out of play. Mark Buehrle has the only win on this road trip. Beat the Orioles. There goes Springer. He got a good jump, but it's fouled out of play.
Wow. He went on first movement. He guessed right against Mark Buehrle. He just kind of like meandered off the base just a little bit, acting like he wasn't going to go, and then took off. And Gattis swung out a pitch. If he would have taken it, I would have had a shot. And then hit him with a runner in scoring position.
Moving again. Nice play by Donaldson. Rights himself and throws Gaddis out. Boy, took away a hit from Evan Gaddis.
Get game ready with the Shopping Channel. Find everything you need for the Stanley Cup playoffs and Toronto Blue Jays. Shop tsc.ca.
2 outs now. Springer at second base. Colby Rasmus hit a long home run off of Burley back in the 6th. That gave the Astros a 3-2 lead. They would add a run in the 7th. He really got tied up on that inside pitch.
Yeah, he was looking for something outside. And Mark crossed him up.
Burley's thrown a season high 110 pitches. It has not been a concern. He has been sharp all afternoon. This is a hot shot snared by Encarnacion. Boy, he made a heck of a play to save a run. Edwin put his body in front of it, got a glove on it, and then was able to toss to Burley, covering the bag at first. Couple of good defensive plays by the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 8th. This had double written all over it, but Encarnacion gloves it, rights himself, tosses to Burley, covering the bag to end the inning. Good job by Double E. RV, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
6th inning, Colby Rasmus at the plate, and he takes this pitch way deep to right field. He has averaged 21 home runs over the last 3 baseball seasons, and he now has 42 home runs since 2013. That's 7th most among American League outfielders. That one put the Astros ahead with that long home run, Colby's 7th of the season.
Colby Rasmus, the former Blue Jay, put the Astros ahead 3-2. They would add a run on sacrifice fly by Jake Marisnik. This is Luke Gregerson. He picked up his 9th save in last night's game. Gave up a 2-run home run, but still recorded the save.
Yeah, he has pitched in 16 games this season. This is number 17, and the Astros have won all 16 games that he has pitched in. Those 9 saves are also tied for 6th most in the American League. Pretty simple. Slider and sinker.
Everything is down. He got a slider up to Encarnacion last night. He hit it up on the railroad tracks. Deep left center. That made it a 6-5 game, and that's how the game ended. Perfect spot. Chris Colabello, 1 for 3, a double. He scored a run. Ground ball is short. The R throws him out. 1 down.
The Blue Jays are hoping for some more success when they get back home. They face the Angels of Anaheim tomorrow up until the 21st, and the Seattle Mariners come to town May 22nd through 24th. And then Melky Cabrera pays a visit back to Rogers Center as the Jays take on the White Sox May 25th through 27th. Go to BlueJays.com for more. Buck?
Barry, thanks a lot. The Blue Jays are 9-7 at home, and that's an extended 10-game homestand. They're hopeful of getting things turned around. They're in danger of falling to 8-15 with the loss here today. They have lost 6 straight games here in Houston. This will be 7.
It is tough road trip. Tough road trip.
If they lose today, they will be 1-6 on the 7-game road trip. Pilar hits an 0-2 pitch into left field to keep things moving here. So that'll mean that the tying run comes to the plate, and with that, Justin Smoke has come out of the dugout and he's grabbed a bat. Smoke will pinch hit for Ryan Goins, and of course Smoke has home run power.
Goins was on deck. He was going to hit. But after that base hit, John Gibbons says, I got to try and tie this game first, and Smoke can certainly reach the seats.
Gregerson threw a couple hanging breaking balls last night. One ended up on the railroad tracks, as we mentioned.
Way deep. Smoke has faced Luke Gregerson in the past. He's faced him 7 times.
Smoke has hit 5 home runs in this ballpark as he played with Seattle in the AL West. Home run that Gregerson gave up last night, just the 3rd home run he's allowed this season. Pilar at first.
I think you got to be ready to swing because he just doesn't walk anybody. He's always around the plate. He has walked just 3 batters this year. And again, it's a very simple formula that he uses. The sinking fastball, and it's a good 2-seamer. And then that sharp slider, which is his out pitch.
3-0. Steve Tallison is on deck. Tallison has a pair of doubles today in 3 at-bats. There's a strike. The Astros don't expect Smoke to pull the ball in the outfield. Mark Burley with a good effort today. He allowed 4 runs on 6 hits. The right fielder Springer is really over in the alley in right center, well off the line. Oh for 7 against Gregerson. There's a base hit. That's his first against the Astros closer. 1st and 2nd, 1 out.
Take what they give you. He was not going to give in and throw him a fastball down the middle. It was away, and he shot the ball the other way.
So Smoke will leave in favor of the pinch runner Danny Valencia. Good job by Smoke delivering the pinch hit base hit. Valencia getting loose. Brent Strom, the pitching coach of the Astros, has come out, and this has got to be a little bit of a scouting report on Tallison. Here's a look at that base hit.
A little two-seamer down and away. He doesn't try and pull it. He shoots the ball the other way. If he tries to pull that ball, he's going to pull it right into the shift that the Astros were in. He stays on that one, gets himself a hit.
Smoke with the pinch hit. Now the number 9 hitter, Steve Tollefson, who's gone 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, out to reconfirm the approach to Tollefson.
First pitch hitting last time up. Remember, it was a high changeup from McHugh, and he hit a double to left center field. Now the outfield's got to be a little bit deeper.
Breaking ball just on the inside corner. The outfield has to back up because the runner at first is the important run. He's the tying run.
That's right. No doubles defense right there. Nothing over your head.
Tollefson was 0 for 9 against right-handed pitching before this game today. He's 2 for 3. All of his at-bats against Colin McHugh, the starter. Leadoff man Ezequiel Carrera is on deck. 0-2 to Tollefson. Breaking ball, he strikes him out.
That one a little bit better two-strike pitch. That time off the plate. You don't want to throw a strike necessarily, but you want to get him swinging at something off the plate, and he does. Second out.
That's the strike to ball breaking ball. It starts out in the strike zone and brings down and away. Go 2 strikes. You got to try to protect. Gregerson with 2 outs and 2 on. Ezequiel Carrera singled in his first at bat. 1 for 3 with a sac bunt. That ball gets away, but not far enough. Boy, that was a good block by Hank Conger. Keep the runners in place.
You mentioned the other day that it came from the Angels and he learned from Mike Scioscia. This ball gets by him, and then the tying runs are in scoring position. But he blocks that ball, and the runners have to stay put.
First pitch strike. Gregerson 9 of 10 in save opportunities. Colin McHugh, the pitcher of record for Houston. Mark Burley with his longest outing of the season is on the hook for the loss. Burley pitched well again. That's 3 straight starts, and Burley has thrown the ball well.
They need a miracle right here. They need a big 2-strike hit from Carrera.
In the dirt.
That was by design right there.
Josh Donaldson would like one more kick at the can here this afternoon. Two and 2, 2 outs. 2 aboard. The Jays down by 2. Popped up. Valbuena in foul territory. The Astros have swept the Blue Jays in a 4-game series.
They did it with great pitching. They played very good defense. They're 4th in the American League in field goal or fielding percentage, and they did it with home runs. more home runs today, 2 more home runs today. They're undefeated if they hit 2 or more home runs, and they took apart the Blue Jays in this 4-game series.
The Blue Jays swept here 4 straight by the Astros. Houston with their 25th win. That's the most wins in baseball. The Astros are for real. The Blue Jays will be home tomorrow. They'll open it up with a day game against the Angels. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.